First episode of Your Card is Declined. I'm Nicole, and this is the story that I'm living right now. I decided that I would tell my story as I was going through this instead of telling it after the fact, because I don't know if there will be an after the fact, to tell you the truth. This is all about how I wake up every day, and the first message is your card is declined. I did not expect this at all. This is something that I am just shocked to go through. It's extremely difficult, and it's about how I'm rebuilding my life. Moved to a foreign country to be an expat and live that expat dream, and I thought that was the way I was going to live. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Right now, I'm about $5,000 in debt. I owe rent, car, and insurance, and the phone, and everything else. I have exactly $39.63 to my name, and I'll share that here with you. There it is, the $39.63 that I have left. This is not a funny story. It's very scary. I don't have friends or family here. I don't have a network at all. I'm going to be sharing every single day what I'm doing to get out of this mess. I'll also be sharing how I got into this mess, which it seems like it just kind of hit all at once. I believe that we make our decisions. I'm not a victim. I realize I have made decisions that were wrong, and I think that a lot of people do make decisions that are wrong in life. I'll put a video out every single day. What I'm going to do is share with you what I'm working on to get clients. And if you know of anybody, I have all of my information in the show notes and the description. I also have my GoFundMe that I started. It's got a crying video on it because that's what I do when I turn off the videos. I cry a lot. I think anybody would cry a lot in this situation. It's very scary, and I never thought I would be in this space. I really didn't. My heart hopes that something good comes out of all of this, but I don't know right now. Today, I showed you my balance and reached out to 11 people on LinkedIn. I sent them videos. I wrote personal messages, and I got 2 responses that were really nice. One woman asked me to send her a 1-page sheet of what I do, which is great, and I did. I have been in AI for quite some time now. Even before the ChatGPT thing came out, I was a mid-chat expert and worked on the Knowledge Business Blueprint bot with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's team. Everything moves so fast when you're in this space. Now I'm learning AI agents, low code, no code, N8N, Make, Zapier. I've also been learning voice, and that's something I'll be going over this week as I share with you what I'm learning in setting up voice AI and AI agents. Tonight I'm going to be sharing with you what I've done to rank my site. I have a couple of different sites, and I have been remiss at building my own brand because I've been looking for clients. It's either spend the time on looking for clients or spend the time on building the brand and dealing with technical issues with building out a site. But since the advent of Claude Code and the agentic Claude Code, I've been able to code my own site, host it on Render using GitHub, and all of that sounds kind of techie, but here's the VSC terminal, and this is what I use to host my site. I've taught myself based upon all of the prompts that I've given to AI LLMs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Manus, Abacus, Gemini, Grok, you name it. So I used my site, sociallysmashing.com, to market myself. And that's what I've been doing for the last month and a half. Before that, I didn't have the site up because I was looking for clients and I just didn't have the time. So I have been building out the Socially Smashing site and the blog. I'm going to show you tonight exactly how I'm ranking that blog and what I'm using. And inside of the paid subscription with Substack, I'm going to be sharing a lot more of this. And the only way I can think of right now to build a community, build a network, is to start a Substack podcast, which is what I've been doing. So today, as I had gone through what I need to do to start this podcast, I decided that I was going to put this on Apple and Spotify. And that's what I did. I integrated everything, and now I have a full-blown podcast that will be audio. If you're listening to this audio, welcome to this podcast. You can go to the Substack in the show notes and you can join the paid group there. And that's the way that I'm going to be growing this. And hopefully I'll have really cool people in that community who want to learn from me and also want to be in a safe space and grow their knowledge of AI and also just what it's like to build yourself back up. This story is unfolding as I speak, and I am hungry. I don't eat much. I'm scared, and the fear is really hard for sure. Tonight, the first episode is to introduce why I started this and what the Substack podcast will entail for people who join as a paid member. It's not that expensive. I made it very inexpensive, and I did make an annual and a founders member. The reason I wanted to start this community is that the point of AI in a lot of people's lives is to make flow better. It's to make your life a lot easier. But I think in all of that, there's this set it and forget it mentality that people think that, oh yeah, I'll just build it and then forget about it. And that's not the way AI is working. It's a little bit more in depth, especially when you're building, because that's just the beginning of it. Everything breaks. Third-party integrations break because either there's an update to the software or maybe the software is not working anymore with that integration. Everything breaks. And you have to be ready for that in AI. You've got to be ready to get those errors all the time. And that's really frustrating. Tonight, I was dealing with something with my phone. I didn't know what the problem was. It was a VPN. These things frustrate us when we're in a headspace. We're like, what's wrong? We're going to find out what's wrong. Back to the story of why I started this podcast, which is Your Card is Declined, is because I have put myself here somehow. And I'm taking responsibility for that. It is very scary, but I believe we all put ourselves into this space of subconsciously doing things that self-sabotage at times. And the successful people, or those people that I think are successful, don't do that. And I want to be really cognizant of that with this story, because Your Card is Declined started out months ago because my card has been declined for months. And I get these messages on a daily basis. It's so gut-wrenching. And coming from a space where 2 years ago I was doing great and now I'm not. This is difficult. It's gut-wrenching difficult. It's so scary. I want everyone to know that's listening, if you're in that space of scariness and you are like, wow, I'm really scared, I understand and I feel your pain. I'm hoping that I can get out of this with the right people who are going to be a part of the community, with teaching the right things and being able to share my knowledge in a way that is not aggressive, but more, here's what it is and here's what it does. So tonight, I just want to share exactly what I'm doing, which is reaching out every day to people on LinkedIn. And I make videos, I go through their sites. I actually have talked to people, I've sent them reports about their site, like, hey, this is where you're not ranking, this is what you can do. And I think a lot of times people take that as being, what are you telling me that for? Why are you sending me this? I never asked for this. Who are you? And I don't even mean it in that way. I want to get to know the people and I research who they are and their companies. And I go so far as to research, how are they ranking? Are they ranking in AI? Are they a trusted source? Are they a trusted authority? And a lot of times they aren't. So I send them the report and I send them like 3 things or 5 things that they can do. I've been doing this for months now and I get nothing. I've done it with attorneys. I've done it with financial people. I've done it with coaches and home health care, and I get nothing. So the podcast is going to share that difficulty and is also going to share with you what I'm doing to get clients. And tonight I will share a piece of software in a few minutes that I've been using that has helped me to understand my visibility, understand my authority, understand where I rank. And believe it or not, even though I've just relaunched this, sociallysmashing.com has been around for so many years. I do have residual from Google, where I was ranking in SEO. So I guess that has kind of followed me, which is good. So maybe this will really help. If you are listening to this on the audio version on Apple or Spotify or on one of the other podcast syndicators, I just want to thank you for listening, and I hope that I get better at presenting and also sharing this story with you. This is a very vulnerable story. It's a very real story. And right now, I'm just at a loss. It's pretty scary. I'm going to share the software that I'm using and what I've been seeing with my results ranking in AI. This is the back office of Socially Smashing where I am ranking. And you can see the technical health, the content health, and the AEO score of what I've created in the past month and a half. What I want to share with you today is how to get yourself ranked in AEO. This ask engine, answer engine optimization, basically it's answer engine optimization because the user is looking for an answer and you want to be the answer they find. You want to be the authority. You want to be that trust signal. Your site and your business wants to be the answer that they're looking for. I have written about the Google Blue Links going away. You can find that on my blog. I've also talked about it on LinkedIn. And what is happening is that Google is deprecating the blue links because they're going into Gemini. AI search is a more specific search. If you have used ChatGPT's Atlas, you can see how search is evolving, or Comet by Perplexity. Even in Abacus or Manus, you can see how search is reacting now and how people are searching. One of the things I've noticed with certain industries is that people are not searching the same way they used to. So I'm going to share tonight with you how I am getting myself at 86 on an AEO score and what I'm doing to do this. No, it has not brought in any clients. It's new and I'm still in that ranking phase. This is not a way for you to think, oh, I'm going to get clients right away. It's a way for you to become the authority so that when you have now put yourself in that authority position and that trust position, people can start seeing you more and more. And once they get used to seeing you more and more, they're going to start using you more and more. So this is the agent right here, and I'm going to share with you my visibility and how many mentions I've gotten and all of that. But this is the visibility score right now. It's at 8.7%. And what's happened here is you can see it comes up and then it kind of drops off, right? And this is due to either my posting on the socials like LinkedIn or Substack. And it's also probably due to my posting on when I post on the blog, I push using my VSC terminal. And then I also use a specific way to write my posts. I'm going to share with you exactly how I write my posts so that you can get an idea of what it is to create pillar posts and satellites and things like that. I'll go through that as well. This right now is the industry ranking that I'm showing up in. So I'm here, number 2. I was at number 1 for a little bit, but now I'm at number 2. And this is somebody coming up fast behind me and another person here. So yeah, I've got some competition and you can see where that competition is. How much voice share do I have? I'm down by 0.1% versus yesterday on my share of voice ranking. This was up earlier today, but now I'm down. And that's going to fluctuate. My share of voice is going to fluctuate. It mentions how many times am I mentioned in AI generated answers in relation to competitors. 2.8% right now. I have a lot of work to do on this. This isn't going to happen right away. Even if you do have a really good Google presence and people are searching your keyword term, if they're not searching in O, then that's not necessarily something you want to play with. You want to make sure that you're ranking in answer engine optimization. The share of voice ranking here, you can see I'm up by 2.8% and I'm second. In my source domains, my top citation domains, this is where my citations are. I'm at 5.8% in Wikipedia and 2.2% in Google. And you can see these sources here. This software is pretty in-depth. If you want the link, it will be in the Substack show notes for the paid version for the subscribers. And that's the way that I'm going to do this so that I'm able to get subscribers, so that I'm able to get out of this mess. So these are all the visibilities, and I can ask this anything I want. I can create a whole conversation with this. I'll go into this more in depth this week as I go through this first week of my podcast. But what I want to share with you are my mentions here. And these are all the queries that I get. I have a lot of mentions on OpenAI 15. I don't have an average position here, but I've got something here, reviews for law firms. I've got different queries that I know people are searching for. If I know people are searching for this query, then I know to write about this query. I know to create an article or a podcast about it. And that's what's going to get me the traffic. So here's the traffic. I've only had 3 total clicks. Average CTR is 12%. Still very low, right? If you look at the countries of where these are coming from, you can see there's nothing here yet. And that's because it's still really new. My traffic isn't huge. It's new. I just set this up. This is all going to be over time. And this is what you can expect when you don't have a lot of content or you just put out content. For example, I've just written the blog over again. And you can go to the site and check out the blog. This is all technical stuff for healthcare and attorneys and people who are in the business field about AI. I'm going to show you this week also something that I'm building with an N8N engine that is really cool that I'm excited about, and it's on a platform called Discourse. One of the things you can do with this software is you can create prompts and you can create articles. In my next videos, I will go over some of this, and I'm going to share with you right now the reason you want to create articles in a specific way. This is the way that I structure all of my content, and I don't do that inside of the software yet. The software is still in beta, and it doesn't have all of these things that I'm sharing with you. It has some of them. I will do an article in that software so that you can see the next time that I post. I will definitely be doing this in the next couple of days. But I wanted you to see how I do this. I use a pillar topic, the pillar URL, a satellite topic, and a satellite URL. I anchor text all of it and give it a search intent. So is it a case study? Is it tactical? Is it solution focused? And then I relate the articles that I already have on my blog and I interlink using that search content so that I have anchor text that interlinks into my blog. When I do this, I write 5 articles at a time. I go through them and I edit them. I don't do everything all on AI. What I do is look at these articles, read them for sense, and then edit them with AI. And I create a prompt based upon what I want in that article. So I use an example article and the prompt and the writing style. And that's how I create my articles. I prompt, but I also use a specific piece of software for that prompt. I don't use other people's prompts and I don't buy other people's prompts. I'm going to share with you this week how I prompt and what I use as the software for that prompt so that I'm able to get these articles to interlink. What you saw before on the website for my traffic and all of the mentions is based upon the last 6 weeks of blog posting. I want you to understand that Socially Smashing has been around for a while, but this specific, so as I am going through all of these articles and creating these articles, what I'm doing is creating intent and I'm creating an authority and I'm creating that trust signal. For those of you who are listening to this on audio, you know the columns of the pillars that I have. It's an AI search content authority map, and I use the pillar topic, the pillar URL, the satellite topic, the satellite URL, the anchor text, the search intent, and the related articles. And these are all put into a CSV like I showed you here. Subscribe to my Substack and become a paid member. And inside of that paid membership, I give you all of this. This is part of that paid membership. I give you all of the information. I show you how I'm using it. And there are other perks of being a member as well, such as live events and share lives that I'm doing so that people are able to join live and ask questions. I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed watching the back office of that software, and that will be inside of the paid Substack so that you can take a look at that. Everything is in the show notes below. I appreciate you if you are joining and you are a paid member. I use that as like a gift from God right now. With just $39.63 left to my name, I'm praying to God that I can get a client in the next 48 hours. I might be broke. My bank account, it's not indicative of what I can do. And that's really unfortunate because I think our society is so used to just judging people on their bank account and not who they are and not what they offer. That's why I'm starting this Substack. That's why I'm starting this group and this community. I encourage you to join, not just for my benefit, but for yours as well. It can benefit both of us. I hope this helped, and I hope you learned something about this and something about me. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. If you know of anyone who is looking for an AI strategist, AEO, or SEO specialist, I would really appreciate the recommendation. It will go a long way in my life. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow on the next episode.